Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This is the Veterans Day episode. Veterans Day was Saturday. Look, let me tell y'all now. I had no idea that Veterans Day was like that. I thought Veterans Day was one of them joints like every, pick a number of a week, Monday, Tuesday or something. Thanksgiving is like every third Thursday or something. I thought it was one of those joints. I didn't think it was a real date. But alright, okay, cool, whatever, man. Salute to all the veterans out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it took me a minute to respect the situation of Veterans Day, the situation of veterans, the situation of soldiers, the situation of black people doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When I say a minute, I mean just from a kid to at least about 17 or 18. And it was one of those things where I had an OG sit me down, and he was like, yo, because I was on that kick, y'all. I was like, man, this system don't care for us, man. We ought to be out here, I'm super militant. We got this. I'm public enemy. I'm a black man. I can never be a veteran. I was out here zoned out. OG pulled me to the side. We weren't cool. We weren't close like that. But he was one of them type of dudes. He played the background a lot. When I say he played the background, like when we were youngins out here wilding, saying stupid stuff, he was that guy. He'd watch us. He basically was one of those people who was like, you seem like you got some intelligence to you. Let me talk to you. He was that guy. So he's listening to me talk this talk, and he's boom, 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 and one of them days it was just like, yo, hey man, let me holler at you. All right, man, what? You stupid. It's literally what it was. Yo, you stupid. And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? He was like, I hear these things and you're all this old America this, America that, and we don't belong. You know what I'm saying? You're always two steps away from getting into that whole go back to Africa talk. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing all that, man. That's just what I'm, you know what I'm saying? He was like, let me tell you something. The reason why you shouldn't say stupid stuff like that, the reason why you should embrace this, your ancestors built this country. Like, and me, I'm like, dude, I know this. We free slavery, the free labor. Slaves built the White House. Slaves did this. Slaves did that. Slaves were in the Revolutionary War. I'm aware of all of this. We was, and he's like, what I'm saying is, you are an investor in this country. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you pull away from it, you are a product of the investors into this country. That were, you know what I'm saying? Your ancestors invested in this country. They could have easily fought to do nothing more than go back to Africa, but they didn't because they had a hand in building this. That was, you know what I'm saying? Their blood, sweat, tears went into making this country what it is. So when you talk that talk, you're doing them a disservice. And I still young, 17, 18, I'm not listening to it, but I'm listening to it. Let me take that back. I'm not listening to it. I'm storing it. I'm retaining it. Because that's the kind of person I am. I'm listening to everything, but I'm not really breaking it down yet. I hold it. And then at a later date, I just sit around and I replay the conversations and I'm thinking about what they're saying and I think about what was said. That's why it's really weird to have any conversations with me, especially on some argument type stuff, because I'm listening, but I'm joint. I'm like, yo, that's why when you tell me a crazy story, I'm coming back around. I'm like, yo, so how did this happen? If this didn't, then that happened. And they're like, yo, huh? You thinking too hard about it. I'm just saying. And then you have to have. I'm all for. Reality is crazy. Trust me, I have stories of things that I've done that if it wasn't for the fact that I have witnesses to go, yeah, man, that joint was crazy. If I told it to you, you'd be like, that sounds absurd. So I'm all for that. But then there's times where you're just like, a lot of this don't add up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, not the point. Point is, I'm listening to this dude. I'm retaining the information, and as time goes on, I'm reading books, and I'm like, yo, he's free. He's real. He's right. Yo, this is wild. Here's the thing. I was asked one time to look up black soldiers in World War I. the same time as I was looking this stuff up and researching this stuff and doing all that, it was also the same time I learned about Tulsa. Like really learned about Tulsa. I remember there was a teacher who told us about it, but it was one of those things where there's a lot of white kids in the class too, so it's like you don't wanna, cause kids are kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like I told y'all, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, when you're learning about slavery, they say it in such a way where it happened, and that's how they say it. It happened. You know, they were slaves. Black people were slaves. They went to Africa, the Middle Passage, boom, boom, boom. They were slaves. By 4th and 5th grade, they started telling you what they did to the slaves and how they went out here to keep slaves. And then there was what happened with Nat Turner. Then there was the upheaval in Haiti. There was a thing that jumped off into Jamaica. And you're like, okay, wow, this is crazy. 6th grade, it gets even crazier, and they tell you even more. It's like as slavery goes into the concept of slavery, it tells you everything: the Portuguese and the transportation down there to the Caribbean islands, to South America, to Mexico. You're learning this stuff. 7th grade it's an even deeper joint. So 8th grade was a white teacher. I feel so bad. I cannot think of her name. Wow. Even now, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to remember it. Anyway, we start talking about slavery, and we get into the World War I and all this, and we talk about blacks and the upheavals and all that, and she brings up the Red Summer. She brings up Tulsa, but she doesn't go into detail. So we're just like, whatever, man. She's bringing this up. White lady, look, coolest white lady ever, man. 8th grade, getting ready to go to the Christmas break, winter break, whatever y'all want to call it. And she's like, yo, when you get back, we're going to talk about Malcolm X. Everybody's geeked. It's Malcolm X. We're like, yo, Malcolm X. We get into Malcolm X, and it's not this beautiful thing that we were thinking. We were thinking we were just going to be on some super pro-black. Yeah, Malcolm said this, Malcolm did that. Malcolm. We get into the 3 pillars of Malcolm X. For those who don't understand, there's Malcolm Little. Actually 4. There's the stuff that develops as a child. Then there's Malcolm Little, the hustler, the gangster, the pimp. Then there's Malcolm X as part of the Nation of Islam. And then there's Malcolm X that last year of his life when he's no longer part of the nation. He done went to Egypt. He done went to Jerusalem. He done did the pilgrimage. He comes back. He's out here like, yo, I'm on my own. I'm cool down with people. He's willing to have conversations with Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders. He's out here willing to go to the UN and hold America accountable for their crimes to black people in America. That guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the guy, like, to experience that last year and to realize we were fusing the Nation of Islam Malcolm and that Malcolm together. Like people barely talk about that Malcolm, but we also still at the same time use a lot of speeches from that Malcolm and stuff for whatever reason. May have that coincide with the Farrakhan, not Farrakhan, the Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad moments with the nation. We don't separate that. For some reason, we make that feel like it's all one thing. And it was just like, yo, even with the Muhammad Ali thing, when we talk about him and Muhammad Ali, like, he really was out. He just wasn't officially out. He was out. He just, you know what I'm saying? He was out of the graces, and dealing with Muhammad Ali was more like a way to be in still favor with the nation. You know what I'm saying? But he was out. He was like that was the Kennedy comments was the last straw. And it was so many other things supposedly that was also involved in it. But anyway, fast forwarding through all that, you're reading all this stuff in class, and you're just like, yo, this is dope. This is crazy. We go from that. We talk about some other stuff. We talk about crazy politics. We talk about the world in social studies in 8th grade. We talk about the world. We learn about World War I. We learn about World War II. We learn about Vietnam. We learn about the small little island that sets off the whole concept of Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? We learn about the little things that spark all of these major events, and it's just dope to like, you know what I'm saying? And again, goofiness. Most of our class, we're listening, we're rocking, we don't care. This is that class. You're just trying to get in and get out. It's so cool. Then when you start getting into high school, when you get to high school and they expand on stuff, you're like, yo, this is crazy. She was giving us these breadcrumbs, and these are bigger pictures. Get into the world history, get into world government, and you realize just, man. But anyway, the whole point was black veterans were a big deal back in those days. That was a big deal to come home and have defended the country, a country that doesn't love you, but you're like, I'm invested in this country enough to do what I had to do for it and be that. And it was just, and it makes you go, wow, that's crazy. I just didn't realize just any of that, because Veterans Day starts out as a salute to those of World War I. You know what I'm saying? It definitely starts out as that. And for those who don't know how World War I was, World War I, when they say World War, they not joking. Like, everything that was involved in that is wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, to think that the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophia, you know what I'm saying, it's like the beginning of a lot of this joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the real start. Like I said, there was under rumblings anyway, but that was the catapult to the whole joint really getting off. Like, Germany sides with Austria and their whole joint. And here's the wild thing, like, a lot of this all sounds familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a group trying to get away from Austria's reign. Austria's like, nah, we got y'all. If that don't sound like what we got going on, history just keeps repeating itself. The concept of understanding the Germany thing, because Germans sided with the Austria on that. Germany, here's the wild joint about with the Germany thing. Germany gets a loan from U.S. banks to pay for reparations to France and Great Britain and all of this and all that. They're taking the money and then giving it back to the U.S. because they helped. Like, here's money owed to you guys because we needed you guys too. So thank you. So here's the money that we're paying you back from the money that they got from you. Money was coming to America either way, because then they would go, oh, by the way, now pay us the money you owe us for helping you pay these people back in reparations. You know what I'm saying? So Germany was getting hit hard. America was doubling their paper up, and it was just, crazy. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's listening to go, that's kind of it, but is it? Yeah, we're not getting into a lot of details here, because to get into the details is just, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting into the details of all of this would just be crazy. So I'm just talking in gists here, right? The gist of the, I don't know, isn't that a thing? Simplifying. Let's say simplifying. We're simplifying it. Anyway, this sort of backhanded BS escalates into a moral pride thing for Germany. And you get somebody like Hitler coming in the cut. And he goes, yo, we need to stand up for this ourselves. We need to be Germany again. This right here, the world got us messed up, son. They out here playing us like we fools. And he starts his move. He starts his campaign. He gets that joint. And then, you know what I'm saying, as time goes on. And look, I always say this, I will always continue to say this, that cancel culture joint, these are ways that I knew the game was crazy. Ford was down with the Nazis. Ford was down with the Nazis. So much so they had vehicles that were Ford vehicles. Nobody went out here trying to shut Ford down. Nobody went out here trying to shut Ford down, y'all. I'm just saying. We was out here tearing statues up all over the place. It's almost like we just stopped this, like the cancel culture stopped at slavery. You didn't go any further. We ain't even worry about the rest of this stuff. We'll stop, because they understood, like, once you start talking about everything, if you start looking at the World War I and II stuff, you got us now shut down. Then we gotta cancel culture, these banks, a lot of manufacturing companies, a lot of businesses in general are now part of that. People forget that when America was out here praising Hitler. Hitler was a hero. Hitler was that guy for a minute. Yo, don't front. You can look it up. Don't think I'm saying nothing. Hitler was that guy for a minute. Yeah, in the 30s, he was the dude. Everybody loved Hitler. Yeah, but anyway, this is this episode, Veterans Day episode. It's about Ira Hayes. Please do your research on this man, on this brother, on this dude. Please do your history on this man. And tragic life. You know what I'm saying? And even that hits hard too. We didn't know about post-traumatic stress disorder. We just, shell shock was as close as we would come to. No, there were no doctors, there were no anything. It was, and a lot of times the men didn't want to talk about it. Families didn't make them talk about it. Families wouldn't communicate with them on that. Like, it was just one of those things, like, if you just broke out in tears over a situation, or over a smell, over a sound, over a song, over the way the sky looks. Nah, that's just dad being dad. That's just granddad being granddad. He'd do that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. Nobody talked about that. It was crazy. Like, by today's standards, everybody, you know what I'm saying? They're like, we suggest everybody has therapy. Everybody ain't got issues. Let me take that back. Everybody's issues aren't, I don't know how, because I feel like now I'm about to like downgrade people's issues. Like, everybody, no, everybody doesn't. I'm sorry, y'all. Everybody doesn't. You know what I'm saying? There's real traumatic joints in people's lives. And then there's just like, oh my God, you were a kid who got chased by some dogs. Join the club. Everybody did. It just didn't affect us the same way. Duh. You don't get the own traumatic dog chasing. That's a thing. I'm scared of the dark and the sounds. Grow up. How did you not stop being 10? Like, by 10 and 11, it should have quit. It should have been over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were still scared of the dog by 10 and 11, you're still, like, oh my God, it's dark outside. How you hanging out? You out here looking like a reverse vampire. The sun's going down, I'm gonna go in the house. Dude, you ain't going to the party? Why don't y'all party in the daytime? Huh? Everybody's gonna be at work. I can't party with you guys. It's dark outside. I only take flights in the daytime. Like, what? Yeah. Nah. What are you doing? I don't like the dark. What? That? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't need therapy for that. You just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better have a great story to go with why you're scared of the dark. You know what I'm saying? As a grown man and grown woman. I'm sorry, it has to be more than just like, it was just something I did as a kid. Can't believe I got scared of Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and all that, Michael Myers and all that. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But, so I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting people's issues. I'm just saying sometimes some of that joint ain't real. Let's just keep it a buck. Some of that stuff ain't real. Anyway, yeah, we gonna keep it sweet and simple this time, right? This is it. We ain't gonna get into too much more. This was it right here. Salute. Veterans Day, man. It was Saturday. So all the veterans out there, salute to y'all again. Please do your research on not just Ira Hayes, but Veterans Day and the history of how it became what it became, and boom, boom, bitty bip, hot bitty hip. Everybody know this is how we. I was about to do the robot. Y'all can't even see this right here. I was about to do the joint. I was about to turn it down. I'm playing. Anyway, let's get into what we do. Thank y'all for rocking with me. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys, Let's get into it. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all hear what we doing, man. We out here having a good time. Oh my goodness. That's one of them joints right there. That sounds so crazy to say it that way. My bad, y'all. I don't know. We're having a nice time, y'all. We doing what we do, y'all. Y'all know how we do, y'all. Ain't nothing gonna stop what we do when we move, cause it's gonna. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? We here now. This is what we do, man, when the music is popping. Ain't nothing jumping like this right here. Ain't nothing jumping like this right here. Salute to everybody out there listening. It's Veterans Day. Salute to all the veterans. Reggie, what up? A lot of people I know. Matter of fact, look, I'm going to get into a weird story. Not weird story, but anyway. Back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean like my high school years. We were youngins out here wilding, dumbing. You know what I mean? There was a group called Ex-Military. Dude named Mike. I still got like actual tapes in the cut here, like in my presence. Ex-Military was a rap group, and that was the whole thing. There was a whole bunch of veterans, you know what I'm saying? And they was doing their thing. Fast forward a little bit. This is still high school. Fast forward a little bit. Out of high school, catch up with my man James. Rest in peace to him. And he's like, yo, we're gonna go to the lab. There's a lab now on it's on Jefferson, right up the street, like a few blocks away from Newsom Park Apartments. So townhouses or whatever, who knows? It don't matter. We go in and it's them. It's like they got the group of dudes just hanging out, chilling, and we're rhyming and we're drumping, and he's peeping us. He's peeping it, and he's like, yo, I wanna rock with y'all. Right now the money funny, but when everything gets straight, yo, I would love to sign you. Catch up with my man O&O. As time goes on, so now I'm thinking, yo, one of these days we gonna get in the lab. I set up a joint to go up in the lab. He never show up. I end up doing two tracks, and he wanted to get down with us so bad, and it was always dope, and it was one of them joints. It was all love with them dudes. Salute to them. Matter of fact, on one of the days that I went and spit my bars was on Veterans Day, because he was like, yo, I'm gonna be off, because, you know, Veterans Day, apparently, I don't know if that's a thing everywhere. I don't even know if that's a thing, but if you chose not to go to work, you ain't go to work. You know what I'm saying? My day, man. I was out here in the joints, man. But anyway, so it was always dope. It's salute, and then again, you know, I'm from the V, so every time you turn around, there's like a soldier somewhere. There's somebody who was into something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first dudes that really put me on the Public Enemy was grown men, military dudes, and it was wild because they played the Cold Steel joint. You know what I'm saying? I could never I'm a black man, and I could never be a veteran with his fatigues on. I'm like, yo, hold on, dog. You clearly gonna be something. Like, you out here got the boots on the outside of the apartment, making sure they spiffy and all that. And you talking about, and I'm a black man, and I could never be a veteran. It was wild, man. It was them was a dumb day. And I was even younger. Like, and we was just like, yo, didn't care nothing about, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, these is like the days when you used to shop at A&E and get the goofy. Yo, salute to A&E, because A&N is a channel. A&N, Army and Navy, that was a store. A&N had all the white starter jackets back in the day. And here's the wild thing. Nobody wanted to grab the white Laker jackets. You either grab the purple or you grab the gold. The whites were so disenfranchised that, you know what I'm saying, the gold, matter of fact, they even had black joints and people didn't rock them. The black joints were slightly not as cheap, but the whites was bought up, like the whites were $9.99. $9.99 for a white Laker starter jacket. Cause nobody was nobody could fathom wearing that joint or the black joints, which was like $19.99. And we're talking starter jackets. We're talking back in the day when starter was official tissue. So don't, you know what I mean? Like now, she be like, I don't even know what a starter joint. Nah. Starter was the thing, you know what I'm saying? Back in them days. And it was like, yo, who would have known? Fast forward, you try to go out here and get you a white lake or anything, they putting some paper on it. They like, yo, they looking at you like, nah, dog, you gotta put that money out. I don't know if y'all remember them days. I don't even know if, I like the jacket thing, the A&N thing. I'm pretty sure that's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go like, you step outside of the lane and be like, I ain't never heard of that. It's like DTLR. Like, when you go to certain places and be like, yeah, man, and then I cop these joints from DTLR, they looking at you like, what is that? Like, what? Yeah, you're like, oh, snap, I'm further away from the coast. Yeah. Anyway, man, this is what we do, man. This is that time of the night. I was just rocking with y'all and, like, trying to figure out when was the best time to cut in and then hope for the best, because you know how it's been the last couple of times. But anyway, it seems like we're all good, so let's continue on, shall we? I'm playing. Let me stop. That's some, yo, you go somewhere and bug some people out doing that and then attract the wrong women. They be like, oh my God, he has an accent. He black with an accent like that. Hey, man. Jolly-o, how you doing? Hi. They be like, oh my God, is that your real accent? This is my real accent. And they just be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Sisters just be sitting there like, man, you don't get your Sherlock Holmes up out of here, man. You gone with that old Pippi Longstocking. They just throw anything that they think is British at you. They just be like, yo, anything they swear is British. They just be like, jolly old good tea, crumpet, biscuit eating, bad teeth having. Man, you don't go here with that old bull. Man, you need to go here with that. Get up out of here, yo. Out of here acting like you ain't no Idris Elba. You know what I mean? But like, that's the only brother they like, the brother they know, and the brother from Snowfall. That's it. I don't even know my man's name. But anyway, what we doing right? I don't know why I let that do that. But anyway, take it from the top. We gonna take it from the top like this moment in Native American history. Indigenous people. Y'all know how we do. Let's give you a quick brief history on how Veterans Day came to be first before I even get into this joint. Now, Veterans Day actually started from the situation of saluting all those that were in World War I. So it was like, yo, boom, November 11th, that was how they did it. They was like, yo, we want to salute the people who was out here doing their thing in World War I. And then, like, all of a sudden, 1938 comes through, and the Congress go, yo, yeah, let's make this a legal holiday. Because at first it was just something that soldiers took part in. You're like, yo, this is our thing. You know, kind of like Memorial Day. All this was just stuff. All this stuff started where it was soldiers honoring other soldiers. So then, like, the government gets in 1938 and goes, yeah, let's make this joint happen. 1954, the Veterans Service Organization of the 83rd U.S. Congress amended the act and was like, yo, boom, we are going to really go out this way and make this a thing. Boom, you get all that you need to do. And then like in 68, it becomes an actual holiday thing. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we went into all kind of joints for that. But it was all, again, it all starts with people saluting the soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Now, where we gonna go with this Native American thing, I ain't know where I wanted to go with it. And then I thought about something that was a crazy piece of history. And salute to Clint Eastwood, who did a movie. This is back when Clint Eastwood was on some real super like military. I'm all about that. Did he serve? I know John Wayne was out here fighting to serve. John Wayne wanted to serve, and he was like, nah, dude, you're good. Sit there, man. I want to serve. I want to kill somebody. Like, nah, you're good, B. John Wayne was the most, I want to kill. Like, John Wayne really believed the hype. He really wanted to go out here and fight people, too. Like, y'all do know that man's name was like Laverne or something like that. Was it like Shirley? It's something crazy. It's like a real, like a feminine name, not Francis. Francis is dying. His real name was something like that, Shirley or something like that, Laverne or something. I'm tripping. I'm not tripping, but I know what I know. Anyway, So he probably already had that chip on the shoulder. And John Wayne just sounds manly, don't it? John Wayne. Oh my God, who is that? John Wayne. Then he would just stand there all husky and big and had that look on his face. He just wanted to join and get in for whatever reason, but they ain't let him out. So I don't know about Clint Eastwood. But what I do know is there was that time when he had the two movies, the joint about being in Japan with the Japan soldiers not wanting to give up, and then he had the Flag of Our Fathers. That was a movie about the drama that the guys who put up the flag the second time, a group of dudes that put it up the first time, and as time was going on and the battle was jumping, the flag fell. So then another group of dudes came and they were putting it up a second time. That's the picture, that's the statue, those the murals and all that we recognize today. That group of people are the ones who gets credited for doing that. And a lot of them dudes were like, we don't want to, and like take the pressure. And that movie basically focused on that. Now, in the middle of all that, there was a Native American guy, Ira Hayes, you know what I'm saying, who was born in 1923. He was an indigenous, he was out there doing his thing, and he was actually a U.S. Marine. And it was like, yo, my man was like, he asked, I'm not gonna, is it spoilers when it's real people's lives? He died of alcoholism. He couldn't get a job for a while. He was stressed. People would actually go to his reservation looking for him, not so much trying to hear the story about his military life and what he did in the war, just like how I felt to hold the flag. Like, that was the thing. The flag was the real thing. Like, that was all people really wanted to know about him. You know what I'm saying? He basically had the PSD joint going on. He was like, and life was just crazy. He did his thing. He was like, and a couple of times he was in a couple of movies. Like, they put him in movies. John Wayne was in one of the movies he actually was in. You know what I'm saying? But he was out here doing his thing. He was a Presbyterian. His wife was a Presbyterian. His peoples was Presbyterian. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He became, you know what I'm saying? He enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1942. He completed his recruit training in the platoon 701 Marine Corps base out there in San Diego. He was out here doing his thing, yo. Boom, he gets out there, he joins Company B, the 3rd parachute platoon joint, and he do his thing there. Battle of the two joints, he's out here with the 5th Marine Division. They landed out there in February of 45, and he did his thing. And everything fast forwards into the whole joint with the flag and all that. I don't want to like discredit that man and just be rushing through joints, but I'm saying salute. And like I said, he was between the postpartum, the joint, the PSD, all the pressures and the stress, alcoholism, and he died. You know what I'm saying? They said from alcohol poisoning. And yo, it's one of them joints. A lot of people don't give any of those guys credit, by the way. That's nowadays anyway. But back then, they were actually heroes back then. Like, all of them dudes got to go around and tour. Some of them didn't want to. They got to get placed in movies. Some of them didn't want to. But it was real. They got to actually do their thing and live that life for a minute and be heroes. The heroes that they were. Maybe not for the right reasons as far as in their mind, because they were like, yo, we were part of the battle. We got it in. We did our thing. We've lost friends and all that too. But y'all just want to hear about this flag. Cool. And I can feel them on that. This is that moment. This is that history moment. I'm going to holler at y'all. Thank y'all for rocking. Let's get back into this music. This is that Chub Rock joint, one of my favorite joints. And I got the remix version that I used to grow up watching on BET all the time. Let's get into it, man. My bad, y'all. See, that's what happened when you go late. Like, I put the lessons joint in a little too late, and then I lost track. I'm gonna be like, I think I got like at least 30 minutes. It was like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that. My bad, y'all. I apologize. We gonna do what we. Oh no. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Anyway, hey, that's always the wildest joint. Like when somebody be saying some joint, just say that randomly when somebody puts you in the, be saying some wild stuff. You be like, nobody puts baby in the corner. They'll stop for a minute and be like, what? I do it all the time. I just do it randomly too. Like somebody be in line and somebody like try to cut through with their people, be like, yo, come on through. Be like, Nobody puts baby in a corner, then you just stand in front like, get out of here, man. Anyway, check out what we do. Get at me on all the social platform joints. Look at me, Google me and all that, and you'll find who I is, where I be at, and all that right there. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. I gotta clear my throat, man, because let me clear my throat. Salute the DJ Clue. Not Clue, Cool. Salute the DJ Clue too. But anyway, let me do it out like this. 1, 2, 3, and we be like, they say you only live on once, but you don't win, yeah. Do over. All right, come like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, make sure that when you do it all the way live. Because there's no redos. It's one sure, strong. See? No redos. You just got to keep moving and keep pushing. Keep on moving. Don't stop. Soul to soul. Word up. And we going to holler at y'all Wednesday. Happy Veterans Day. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.